Long before the United States became a nation, before borders, flags, or presidents, the land known today as America was already alive with history. For thousands of years, vast civilizations flourished across North America, building cities, forming governments, trading across continents, shaping cultures that would endure long after the first Europeans arrived. To understand America, one must first understand the world that existed before it was called America at all. The earliest inhabitants of North America arrived more than 15,000 years ago, likely crossing a land bridge known as Beringia that once connected Siberia to Alaska during the Ice Age. Over generations, these peoples spread across the continent, adapting to forests, plains, deserts, and coastlines. Far from being primitive, they developed complex societies deeply connected to the land. By the time Europeans arrived in the late 15th century, North America was home to hundreds of distinct nations and tribes, each with its own language, traditions, and political systems. The Mississippian culture, centered around the Mississippi River, built massive earthen mounds in thriving urban centers such as Cahokia, near modern-day St. Louis. At its peak around 1100 CE, Cahokia was larger than London, with tens of thousands of inhabitants and a sophisticated social structure. In the northeast, the Haudenosaunee, also known as the Iroquois Confederacy, formed one of the most advanced political alliances in the pre-colonial world. Their Great Law of Peace united multiple nations under a shared system of governance that balanced power, resolved disputes, and promoted unity. Some historians believe this model influenced the democratic ideas later adopted by America's founding fathers. Across the Southwest, civilizations like the Ancestral Puebloans constructed stone cities carved into cliffs and canyons. Places such as Mesa Verde revealed advanced architectural knowledge, irrigation systems, and community planning. In the Pacific Northwest, societies thrived on abundant natural resources, creating complex economies based on fishing, trade, and craftsmanship. Trade networks stretched across the continent. Obsidian, copper, shells, and ceremonial objects moved thousands of miles between regions, connecting distant cultures long before European contact. These networks allowed ideas, technologies, and traditions to spread, forming a continent-wide exchange system that rivaled those of Europe and Asia. European arrival in 1492 marked a turning point, but not an immediate conquest. Early encounters were shaped by curiosity, cooperation, and conflict. Native peoples taught settlers how to grow crops like corn, beans, and squash foods that would become staples of American agriculture. Without this knowledge, early colonies such as Jamestown might not have survived. Yet European diseases proved devastating. Smallpox, measles, and influenza swept through native communities with catastrophic effects, reducing populations by millions. Entire societies collapsed before they could even be recorded in European histories. This demographic collapse reshaped the continent and altered the balance of power. As European colonies expanded, they built on rather than replaced the foundations already in place. Colonial trade routes often followed indigenous paths. Early American ideas of federalism and shared governance echoed native political traditions. Even the concept of liberty was influenced by European observers who admired the freedom and autonomy of indigenous life. By the time the United States declared independence in 1776, America had already experienced centuries of transformation. It was a land shaped by ancient civilizations, global trade, cultural exchange, and profound loss. The nation that emerged was not born from nothing. It was built upon layers of history that came before it. America existed long before it had a name. Its true origins lie not only in revolution and independence, but in the deep, complex story of the people who first called this land home.